Naomi versus Jade Cargill is the first one-on-one singles women match since WrestleMania 22. Scott Shifflett. Shifflett, name that singles match at WrestleMania 22. Non-title, first non-title.
It had to be Ivory versus Molly Holly for the hair, right?
That's 20, and Molly Holly versus Victoria, but that was for the title versus hair. This is non-title. So the first non-title women's match, one-on-one in WrestleMania since Tori Wilson Playboy pillow fight match or whatever.
Oh, so this is actually the real first match, not the Playboy match that I probably enjoyed
on the marquee,
back then.
1 versus 1, stip or not, women versus women. So yeah, we're doing good here. I'm glad they're doing this match. It's warranted.
It really is.
Pretty good build that we'll kind of dive into. But overall, out of 10, how excited are you feeling for this match?
Surprisingly, like a 7 or an 8, because I think it's been well built. This is the most I've cared about Naomi since she came back. I think she's being interesting as a heel instead of like the smiling baby face. And Jade, we need to see her in short spurts, and that's when she does the most damage, when she comes in, wrecks shop, and leaves. So I'm pretty excited for this. I expect this match to go maybe 5 to 10 minutes because you don't really want to expose Jade unless like she's turned into Shawn Michaels down at NXT at the training facility. So because even though she looks great, wrestling skills still aren't there. I mean, she's been hidden with Bianca, but we've seen tag matches fall apart sometimes when she's in. I think this is the most I've cared about Naomi in years, to be honest. Kind of crazy. She gets a WrestleMania match before Big Jim this year. So we'll see what happens.
I doubt Big Jim's going to get one, but Naomi's crushing it, man. Like she's such a far different character now than when she is that like glow, plucky baby face, like let's bring the energy type of shit. She got a lot of shit to her that's built up, and it comes out as a heel. I think she's been extremely, extremely good, and she brings out Jade's strengths, like you said, short spurts, power, kick ass. That's what Jade can do. And Naomi's like a great antagonizer to get us to where we got to go. And like you said, I don't think I'd go 10. I would stick closer to 5, if that. And I just have Jade do like a semi squash on Naomi, and we'll go from there. Were you surprised that Jade took a pseudo clean loss to Liv Morgan in like one of the UK's and SmackDowns a few weeks ago?
Yes, I was, but it played into the story. And also, the thing that really screwed her over in their AEW run was they started hyping up her undefeated record with Goldberg.
Yeah.
Like she was Goldberg. So getting that out of the way now is fine. And it's not like she lost to, I know they're not here, but it's not like she lost to one of the iconics. She lost to Liv Morgan, who I would say, I know this isn't what we're talking about, has been like the MVP of the women's division.
Sure.
The past 6 or 7 months. She's been amazing, probably even longer than that, to be honest. So it's not like she lost to no name. She lost to Liv Morgan, was unjustly fingered as the person who, attacked her. Yep. And it's fine with me. And, it leads to more heat for the match. And like they say, most heels are the ones that think they're right, and Naomi thinks she's right, and I think she's right too. Jade took her spot. It should have been her and Bianca.
All right, so last year WrestleMania, there was a 6 women's tags. These 2 with Bianca versus Damage Control. Belair chose Jade to become tag team champions with instead of Naomi. Before the Survivor Series, Jade was taken out with that angle with the car and so on and so forth. Like you said, the red herring of Liv and Raquel in between that. And then the Elimination Chamber reveal was fantastic and awesomely done. And what did you think about the Bianca and Jade mixed reaction? Like some people loved it. Some people thought it was kind of corny. I'm split directly in the middle. I thought that was overall good, but I don't know, with the girls acting and the crying or whatever, it was a little much for me. But overall, I thought that it did what it was supposed to do. But what did you think of that segment where they kind of had the breakdown and the falling out and the why and so on and so forth?
I think it's actually going to lead to a SummerSlam match. I'm not sure who plays the heel with that, but I like it because we're not seeing I get shit because my favorite wrestler is Sting, and he always just foolishly would believe someone and get turned on. So I like how she's like, "Why are you doing this?" With Bianca doing that, and Jade's like, "I'm going to whoop her ass." And I remember in our group chat when Elimination Chamber happened and she beat the shit out of Naomi, we lost our minds. It was awesome. and it showed what Jade needs to do and what hopefully happens at Mania. But I think we're setting up for long term of Bianca and Jade, and like I hope Naomi isn't lost in this, but like we could turn this into a 3-way feud where like they both sort of hate Bianca with saying like, you know, you couldn't choose who it was, so we're making the choice for you. You're not going to be friends with either of us. Yes, the acting was Cinemax bad, but it's like, what do you expect like with wrestlers when they're supposed to do this and with one cut? And but no, I'm looking forward to it. I hope like this turns into a 3-way dance once Bianca loses at Mania. Sorry for whoever thinks she's going to win.
See, even though despite it being bad acting for the portion of it, there was still very compelling points, and it was just like so drawing, and it was just like they're going through this, the emotions was drawing you in, even though it would take you out of it a little bit, but I still thought it was very effective and well done for what it was. It just wasn't like a cinema classic or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're an old school fan. I wonder if this is just me being in the weeds too much, but all right, so Naomi's new gear with a caution tape and all that, right? And Naomi's first name being Trinity. Do you recall ECW diva Trinity? You think there's anything there, maybe inspired the idea, so on and so forth? Or am I just be like, bro, get a fucking job, get a life, get something. What are you doing?
Well, we all got no lives together as we're doing this, Ryan. But no, like I think it could be a throwback to her, but I do like it. I do like how she changed her gear because it's like caution. Kind of gives me like Owen Hart on NOD vibes, Nation of Domination, because like that's sort of how his was. But like, you know, it shows caution. It's like, hey, I took this bitch out for 6 months. What do you think I can do to you? So like adds another extra level to that. And I love that she's not like feeling the glow when she comes out, even though that was a banger theme song.
It was the first one, not the second one. Was
not the second one, but the first one. But no, so like I feel like for the first time in years, I know it took for her to leave and come back and then like still like do nothing for a little bit. I feel we see character growth from her. Like instead of being like a 2D character, she's like a 3D character.
Yep.
So I like that a lot. I want to see where it goes. You know, I know I said earlier maybe we get Jade and Bianca at SummerSlam. Maybe at one of those earlier, maybe at Money in the Bank, we get a 3-way between these 3 women because you feel like Bianca's going to be thrown back into this sooner rather than later.
Yep. Overall, if Jade can become a fraction of how interesting Bianca has been the last few months or whatever, she'll be all right. Overall, what's your feeling on Jade? Personally, I feel that she's kind of is where she is, but she feels perhaps a little forced, but you can't really teach what she looks like in her presence and the it factor that she has. It's just kind of trying to work out that it factor, you know, conveying on your TV. What's your feeling on Jade?
Yeah, I like her a lot. I think she's unfairly like shit upon because yes, she was thrust into the limelight, but you're not going to put her in NXT. You have to put her on the main roster. She had, like you said, she has the it factor, the aura. So like throw her in there. They've been hiding her with like these 6 women in tag team matches. You know, I don't think she's going to be able to bust out like a 12, 13 minute match, but like you said, we do a 5 to 7 Mania match where like Naomi, even if Naomi wins by like some chicanery, but like, you know, she still gets her shit in. Like she looks amazing when she's beating bitches' asses. It looks awesome when she's like, just like, cause she's just so like muscular. I just think she's awesome. Like they didn't really like her in AEW just because like how the fans are more wrestling based, if that makes sense. Yeah. And like WWE fans, like I know like we're all fans of it together, but they're more like sports entertainment based. So I think that's maybe why like it's also like it's for further discussion, but also why Cody might have had problems in AEW where they booed the living hell out of him, and now he's the face of WWE as the babyface. I just think she's unfairly like people just want to shit on her already and have preconceived notions. I say let's just see what happens. And I feel like she's been training for 6 months in NXT. I think hopefully she did something. We haven't heard anything bad.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, they're just going to work with her attributes here, and then I think that they'll have a safe, good match here at WrestleMania 41, and then it's kind of that afterwards. Will she live up to the hype and the upside? Because she should be relatively hot coming out of it, because I assume that she perhaps may win. I'm probably going to pick her. But let me set the table the other way. Earlier, I brought up Liv Morgan defeating Jade Cargill. Now, you mentioned that It was, just to get that loss out of the way. And I agree to you. Perhaps there was a little bit of a message sent so on as well. But is there any chance with Naomi kind of clicking a lot more that Naomi is the one that kind of sneak out a win, slip on a banana peel? Who knows if Jade's involved from this, say Jade's before this, and this is late in night 2 or something like that. Who knows? Is there any way that Naomi walks out of WrestleMania 41 winner in this match?
It's only if we get if it's a 5-minute match and we get 4 minutes and 30 seconds of Jade just beating her from pillar to post, and then she slips on a banana peel. Maybe Bianca runs down and tries to get her to stop, and Naomi rolls her up. That's the only way I see it, or foot on the ropes or something like brass knucks or something.
Again, I would say a heavily favored Jade Cargill, as she should be. And I'm curious what we have for the future. We had the stare down with Charlotte Flair 2 weeks ago when they were crossing paths. And who knows? That's her upside, a big match with Charlotte. That's where she could, in perhaps contract said should be. So we'll see if she gets there. It starts at this night at WrestleMania.
Yes, it does. Look forward to it.
All right, I'm just going to play it safe and pick Jade. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going Jade as well. I know I laid something down for Naomi, but I'm going with Jade.
Awesome. All right, Schiff, Backbone Wrestling Network. Where can they find it?
On any other podcasting, you can find us on YouTube as well. I do a podcast that drops every other Friday. Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? Where I'm going through his run as a booker. We're at the end of 1999 right now. It's kind of heartbreaking, Ryan, because the NWO was kind of fun at this time, and you had Goldberg just got hurt, and we had a big 3, strangely, of Sid, Goldberg, and Chris Benoit. But as we know, the wheels are about to fall off completely.
All right, if you're into Crash TV, that's the pod for you. But you guys do a great job over there and always entertaining. Schiff, thanks, buddy. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks. See you, Ryan.